Welcome back to the Upper Tier Podcast, the football podcast we bring you each and every week. Football is a madness. PSG 1, Man City 2. Wayne joins me for a quick match reaction. Always on YouTube on the Dynamo Podcast Network, anchor for the audios, but you guys know that already. You shouldn't need to be told at this stage. Hit a like, hit a subscribe, comment, let us know your thoughts. Wayne, a madness.
Man, that was some game of football.
Absolutely. I looked at the first half and I was messaging you and all, and the control of PSG, the close control, the way they controlled the game, I thought they were going to run out easy winners. United looked an absolute shadow of themselves. Couldn't believe it, like, you know what I mean? Just so lethargic, slow to the ball. Rodri way off the game. At the back a bit loose. Nothing going on up front. It was just so slow at times. But then, as we know, a game is made of two halves. Second half, Man City come out, turn on the afterburners, get a bit of luck with Kevin De Bruyne. And the next thing, PSG do what they tend to do at this stage in competitions. The big men go missing. How are you feeling?
Oh, man, I'm absolutely buzzing off me tits, to be honest with you. That was mental. I don't think I sat down at all in the second half. I think I was standing up for the whole second half. My voice is a bit gone. I was screaming all at the telly. But like you said, game of two halves, man. In the first half, as you know, because I was texting you, I wasn't confident. I thought, here we go, this is going to be a rout for PSG, you know. City had one or two lucky chances like in the first half, but I mean, Phil Foden probably should have finished that when he got, but I think he was surprised the ball came to him so quick and so easy. And he was a bit like, and just shot without thinking about it. PSG were all over us in the first half. I mean, the middle of the park, I don't think I've ever seen a Man City be dominated like that for the first, at all this season, ever by anyone. But especially in those first 45 minutes, there was nothing in the middle of the park. There was absolutely nothing. They had the pace. They were beating us to the first ball. They were beating us to the second ball. Even when we were going in for challenges, they were winning. They were coming out better off, you know. I mean, there was a great bit in the first half from PSG with your man Paredes, where he dives in for one tackle, dives straight back in again, all back. Brilliant bit of stuff. And absolutely just blow me away. You say I got a bit of luck with De Bruyne's ball, but for me, like, is that not the angle you put? We've scored a goal like that before, if you remember. I'm sure it was in the Champions League as well. Same thing where it was it a cross? Zinchenko, wasn't it? Zinchenko.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, and it was a bit. Was it a cross? Was it a shot? But that's the idea. You put the ball in there, so if no one gets it, it should be going in the goal anyways. And foolishly for Navas, he underestimated the curl on it, you know?
It wasn't even the curl. I think he underestimated how close the players were to the ball. Because the players, when you go back and you look at it, were miles away from the ball, so it never looked like anyone was going to get a contact.
No, you're right.
And the next thing, he just stood there. I think he was expecting them to get a contact on the ball to come closer to him off a contact. But the players were miles away from the ball, like, and he literally just stood there and the ball just curled in.
I won't lie, I actually thought something similar. I thought he was expecting them to touch it for a corner or to go out and play or something. Like, I was just fully, he didn't expect it just to fucking drop right beside him in the back of the net.
Yeah, it was madness.
But I mean, like, look at the difference between Mahrez in the first half and then Mahrez in the second half. Like whatever Pep Guardiola said to them or gave them at half time, I'd love to bloody know. But someone said to me, one of my Man City friends said, do you reckon that was a Pep Guardiola tactical masterclass, you know, sitting back for the first half and then running at them like there was no tomorrow? You know, it's hard to say. Like, but
I wouldn't have thought so, because I didn't think in the first half it felt like you were sitting back to spring a counter or anything like that. No. I think PSG just had you pegged back in and they were just absolutely battering you, you know what I mean? It was just like so tight. And like, I mean, they could have had a few goals as well. Like, I mean, Mbappe in the first half was just unplayable. He was leaving, was it Cancelo out there? He was just leaving him for dead constantly, you know what I mean? And it's just, it's mad. It's chalk and cheese, really. I mean, to think that these players can go in at half time, they're 1-0 up or whatever it is, you know what I mean? And then they come out and like they just die dead on their feet. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't think we could have much of an argument about the sending off. I think he went right down his leg, no doubt about it. I think again you get the usual with these players at this level on these teams. When things aren't going their way, they get petulant, they get nasty, similar to what we seen last night with Real Madrid against Chelsea as well. The petulance kicks in when it's not going your way. You know, how many times did we see players just simply kick out? You know what I mean? And I mean, to be honest, there could have been more cards if you think about it in the way players were kicking out and all. And then, you know, gathering around the referee trying to get Kevin De Bruyne sent off so he'd miss the second leg. You know what I mean? It's just, you know what I mean? It's horrible to watch, really, you know?
I have to give you credit for that, Noel. You predicted that straight after. Before they even kicked the ball tonight, you said exactly this was going to happen. You said to me that if Man City frustrate PSG a little bit, PSG will start kicking out, use their dirty tactics, and then hoping to frustrate City back, you know. And luckily we kept our heads tonight, you know. But like, imagine Fernandinho was playing that game. I don't know if he would have lasted 90 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. There was a serious pace and there was a serious battle going on there in midfield. I mean, Verratti is outstanding. I mean, I couldn't believe even the way the wall separated for the second goal. I mean, and Verratti's lying on the ground and they go back to the replay. He's lying on the ground, goes to get up and he looks and the ball's in the back of the net. He couldn't believe it. Like, he's sacrificing his body on the ground for the low kick. And the boys separated in the wall. They wouldn't even get in front of the wall to block a ball at this level. Semi-final of a Champions League. 200 grand a week these lads plus are probably on, and are shying away from blocking a ball off a free kick. You know what I mean? Like, you couldn't ride it. Like, you know what I mean?
They turned. They both. I don't know if they both turned in or turned out, but they both turned, like, one turned left, one turned right, or vice versa.
Yeah,
and
they both basically turned side on and just opened the floodgates, really, you know what I mean? And you could just see Verratti sitting on the ground looking at the ball in the back of the net going, fuck me, what the hell, like, you know what I mean?
I thought myself, when we got the free in that position, I thought Kevin De Bruyne's going to bang this in the top corner. You know, I really did. But Mahrez did a job for me, so I was happy with that as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that was only about 20 minutes after I sent you a text saying that Mahrez lad is a passenger. You know what I know. So even though I called some of it right, I still had a bit of egg on my face, really. You know?
One of my pals, I said, when we scored the equaliser, I texted him, I said, buzzing, but whatever. And I said, Lord Phil Foden to score the winner now. And he went, nah, Mahrez is going to get it, watch. And lo and behold, I said, hey!
I couldn't believe De Bruyne gave it up. I couldn't believe De Bruyne gave it up because he sent the two boys away first. I could not believe it, you know.
But you got to remember, like, so Mahrez, obviously, with us, he's missed penalties and so on, you know, big ones. The big one against Liverpool, as you remember all too well, I'm sure. Yeah. And, you know, he stepped up in the last game with Dortmund, or one of the games, and he got the penalty, which was big. And I just watched just before we were speaking, De Bruyne's post-match interview, and one of the first questions was, why did you let Mahrez take the free kick? He said, he asked me. And I said, if you believe in yourself, that you take the free kick. He said, because I believe in my team. He says, I believe in my teammates. And Riyadh said, yeah, I'll take this. So Kevin said, all right, go for it, mate.
It's mad, isn't it? He's too nice, isn't he? Too nice, really. Yeah. You know what I mean? No grade with him at all. I don't know, like, sort of, as you say, it is only half time in this, and it is nicely poised for next week's game, you know. But City really would have to give another 90 minutes of that last 45 minutes really to see it out now, wouldn't they? Because PSG, they are so dangerous all over the park. I mean, it's a madness when you look at the way PSG play. It's like no one actually has a position. And they all just run into space, run into positions, create space, move all over the park. 1 minute Neymar is left, the next minute Neymar is right, and Mbappe's cutting in. Di Maria's all over the park. Verratti covers some amount of ground. Marquinhos moves up when he has to and all. It's so difficult to kind of track their pattern of play because it's like there's no pattern. It's like it's just attack, and it doesn't matter who runs forward and then someone else covers and stuff like that. What was your thinking in terms of City? I mean, obviously we'd know Raheem Sterling tonight. There has been a lot of talk about him potentially wanting to leave and that Real Madrid are interested and stuff like that. And I mean, he has had a dip in form this year as well. I mean, what you're thinking there, him being out of the team, he's not going to be happy being left out, is he, at this level?
No, he's not, of course. Personally, like, look, everyone, I don't know, like someone put up on Twitter after the game, I can't believe we beat PSG with this lineup, right? I was thinking, me personally, that was the lineup I wanted him to start with. You know, as a City fan, I saw it, I went, thank God, because as you all know, Pep Guardiola sometimes comes out and puts, put Walker in the middle, not literally, but he'll shift it around in such a way, and you think, what is he doing? Like, what possessed him to make this decision? And Sterling, look, he did play well on Sunday, but as a City fan, Sterling is, and this is what has been, other than his great season he had, this is Sterling all over. He's brilliant. He can run. It's the final ball or his final decision. He always takes too long. He always drags it out, and he always seems to fuck it up if I'm blunt, right at the last minute. I wouldn't like to see him leave the club, God no, because I think Sterling's one of those players with the right motivation and stuff. He can be brilliant. He's shown he can be brilliant, Yeah. But I was happy that it was Phil Foden. Say, I don't know who was up front, De Bruyne or Bernardo and Mahrez. Like that was the exact. If you gave me a piece of paper and so you're picking the City team, that's exactly who I would have picked. That is exactly the team I would have put out.
Yeah, and I suppose we'd have to give a shout out as well to Zinchenko. I really like that boy. He gives you so much going forward, doesn't he? So much more, I think, than Cancelo, really, in terms of his runs and the way he opens up things. I seen even when he came on tonight, even at that stage, like he was making those runs down the left hand side to open up space, and I think he made run where he ran across their back line to run in behind, and they didn't see the pass and went out to the right. And I was thinking, if they just had to clip the ball over the top there, he was in, like, I mean, just one of those sneaky little passes that like PSG would never think could happen because it's Zinchenko. They wouldn't be expecting that run, but he was there to make that run and not a bother to him,
I think he's a very, very underrated player. Now, look, I'm not going to say, but look, he's inconsistent now. Recently, like last year, he was a bit more consistent. This year, he seems to be up and down. But I also noticed when he is on form, he seems to be better than the Zinchenko we had last year, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Like, even, I know he was only on for a half hour. But even like when PSG were moving forward, he almost slid through, I think it was Gundogan to win one of the balls, He was like, I'm winning. I don't care if you're there. You're not. I'm getting it, And that tenacity, man, to bring it on in a game like that. Like the fire was lit, man. Whatever Pep Guardiola did, the fire was lit in Man City, And if I'm being really honest, they played like PSG did in the first half. That's all that happened.
Yeah, and you could see PSG as well trying to cover the ground, and the ground was getting heavier for them. You could see it was like the zip wasn't there as much as it was, and they were really starting to panic because 3-1 would have been a tough one to come back from.
Yeah.
Even with the talent they have.
At the end of the day, they have to score 2 goals now. That's something that we're very aware of as well. Man City score 1. That also changes it. If we go out and get an early goal, man, they have an uphill battle, I'm not writing them off at all. I want to mention your man, is it Becker who played for PSG?
Yeah.
He was quality, man. I was thinking, who's this lad? Who is this lad? And there was a bit of play. Did you see it? City were all over. I think it was Neymar, and the ball got moved 1-2. And I think Neymar had done an overhead kick, and your man Becker ran in behind into this space, man. That was just, I was like, here, how can you play against that, man? How can you play against that? And like you said, PSG's close play tonight was, everyone should watch, every team should watch it and be like, this is what you do in close. You be confident and you win, you go through players, you win your challenges. There was sometimes they were just going over City, like there was nothing we could do,
Yeah. What you're thinking on? I mean, obviously Phil Foden, he's outstanding, been outstanding this season without a shadow of a doubt. Probably, I would say, the most improved player nearly in the Premier League this year. Was eaten up and spat out in the first half. It was so sort of, and I think he was kind of exposed on that side. He was kind of left a little bit alone as well.
Yeah.
But in the second half, but I like the way in the second half, the way he kind of switched it up a bit and he came in a bit more central. He wasn't quite out that far. He was more kind of hugging that 18-yard line, box side line, rather than being right out on the wing. And I think he was made more effective in passing around and linking up and moving, making those runs. I think he was very isolated in the first half, and PSG knew how to get at him, because they obviously recognize he's the danger there as well. He's bang on form and outstanding and has a proper eye for goal. He was actually lucky. He could have bagged 2 tonight, in fairness, something as
look, if you be really critical of him, we're never critical of Phil Foden. I love the guy. He's amazing. He's a City fan. He's everything that you want at your club. But if I be critical of him, like, how many chances did he miss against Dortmund that he should have scored? And you remember he didn't even celebrate when he got the winner. He didn't even celebrate because he said, well, he was obviously saying to himself that, look, I should have bagged 3 tonight. There's no point celebrating. You know, I'll give him a bit of slack tonight. I mean, PSG are a big step up. But yeah, he should have scored 1 today. And I think you nailed it. Like, being out so far wide, the defender kept pushing him wide as well. I don't know if it was Kimpembe or whoever was on. And he was almost man-marked. He didn't have an inch of space in the first half. Yeah. And obviously Pep spotted that and said, like, you need to come in and create space. He said, because it's not happening,
Yeah, he was constantly getting pushed down the line, and then he was on a kind of an awkward side. He couldn't get back in around him. He tried a couple of times and lost the ball a few times. He just couldn't figure it out. Certainly turned on the afterburners in the second half. Yeah.
Brilliant he was. As well, like I think with Phil Foden, look, it's so hard. And I only think like this because of how Pep's managed them. But I started to think, like, because of what was happening in the first half, I was like, did he start Phil Foden? Should Phil Foden maybe have come on as a sub in a big game like that? Was it a lot of pressure on his shoulders or whatever? But then again, he is 20. He's been around that team for like 3 years now. It's not like he's new there. He's not a new boy to that squad or that style of football or anything. Yeah. But as a Man City fan, it obviously hurts him more conceding, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He's feeling it a bit more. Yeah. And I was partially thinking maybe it was a bad decision to start him, but obviously in the end he proved to be the good.
I think he'd be proper fed up himself if he was left out, considering the form he's been in. I know, as you said, sometimes the end product isn't there, but with Phil Foden, we forget how young the kid is as well. You know what I mean? He's only a kid, like, you know what I mean?
That was my only thinking. Like, this is the club's biggest game. Like, since he was alive, Man City have never been in the position he was playing in. But bar once. Yeah. We've never, so I'd imagine he's got a few butterflies in his belly, that he could be part of it. But I don't know. Like you said, he is world class. And Pep Guardiola said last week that no matter what, he said, I can't leave him out of the squad. Like, there's no. Pep loves to rotate, but there's no way he can leave someone like Phil Foden now. And the form he's on, what he's delivering, his work ethic. Like, even the first chance, nobody was in the box. But you remember the ball went out wide and he won the ball off the defender or something. But there's nobody in the box for the back. That's the tenacity he has that most players are missing. He doesn't give up. He chases everything down. And even at the end there, I don't know if you would remember, but PSG were passing it around our back line and he was throwing the leg in, trying to get an interception. And it was, 5 minutes from the end. I thought, yes, mate. Yeah. He wants it, he wants it.
What you want. Yeah, certainly whatever Pep said at halftime definitely worked, that's for sure. Quietly confident for next week?
Well, do you know what? I'll be honest with you, I didn't want to say that. I'm glad Dino didn't. He nearly goaded me into it on the Monday mashup. But I was quietly confident, but I didn't want to. I nearly said it as well. Yeah. I was going, and I went, care, say nothing. But I was just because of the way we play, even conceding today, I was obviously worried because of how the football was going. But not like, if you look, how many times have we conceded first in the last couple of weeks and then came back? Quite a few times. Yeah. Dortmund, Dortmund being a big one for that. So yeah, it was a bit nervy. Am I confident though? Like I said, they have to score 2 goals at least to go through, and to go through automatically without drop, and I don't know. I could see City getting an early goal and then PSG taking it to us next week. If we score an early goal, PSG are going to go at it. They aren't going to hold any point. Long balls going to Neymar, long balls going to Messi, Mbappe. Yeah. So I'll go with City 1-0.
Well, as I always say with Man City and PSG, you're never going to get a defensive masterclass. This is going to be end to end. This is going to be a roller coaster again next week. What about Aguero? Yeah. Have we seen the end of Aguero, or are we going to see him?
Look, I'm sorry, that's a bit heartbreaking, but yeah, it's looking like it, isn't it? I can't see us getting to a final and him starting. How does Pep Guardiola play that? But it could be a tactical move. Played with this out of striker, without a striker. Every meet in the final was set up for that. Then we put a striker in there. What happens? It throws a spanner in the works almost. But I don't think the team is built around Aguero's style of play. Now, I just mentioned 2 seconds ago about when Phil Foden got there. The first thing on my mind was Aguero would have been right there ready for that ball. He would have been right there for that, you know.
Yeah, so, we've said that the last few weeks with the chances you have created. If they fell to Aguero, they'd be back at the net, like, you know, without a shadow of a doubt, you know.
But no, I just can't. I may be getting there if we're winning 3-0 in the finals. We might put them on for 10 minutes to go. Here you go, buddy. But bar that, I don't think we'll see him play again. Unless, do you know where I'll see him play? If Man United do us a favour and lose at the weekend, and we beat Crystal Palace, we win the trophy, we might start seeing him out in the pitch a bit more. In the league games, you know.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. I tell you, I'm not even a City or a Chelsea fan, and I'm so excited for next week. I can't believe it. Like, you know what I mean? It's just to have football back the way it should be, and not be worrying about the ESL or any of that other crap that was going on. It's great to just have football back, isn't it? And not to be worrying about off pitch stuff.
Well, I think it's just typical now. It's set up for a Europa and Champions League all-English final. United, Arsenal, City, Chelsea. The four of the sneaky six. Do you know what I mean? 4 of the sneaky six, all at the top of European football.
Yeah.
You know?
And then one year goes on and wins each trophy, and then UEFA slide in and strip you both over the sneaky six. Yeah. Can you imagine? Oh, it'd be a madness, wouldn't it? Absolute crazy. Yeah, so we'll look forward to next week. Now then we'll be back on again, and hopefully you'll have qualified for the final. But all to play for in both semi-finals at this stage. I hope tomorrow night lives up to the billing now after the last 2 nights.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Big call. 4 English teams in the 2 finals. That's a massive call.
Yeah. Well, no, someone just said it to me today. He said, wouldn't it be just the biggest fuck you to the English FA? That's United, Arsenal, City and Chelsea, for the teams that were planning to fuck off, you know? I said, wouldn't that just be poetic justice to the FA? Like,
jeez. And UEFA and FIFA.
And UEFA and FIFA. The whole lot of them would be going, fuck, you know? Well, if you think about it, bar PSG, you've got, who else have you got in there? You got Real Madrid playing Chelsea there, one of them. Yeah.
Villarreal, Roma, it's a madness. Yeah. Well, listen, as always, a pleasure. Great to see you smiling. I know it must have been a roller coaster. First 45 minutes, you must have wanted to go missing nearly, you know. I've been there before. I watched the Miracle of Istanbul. I've been there before. Don't worry.
Man, what did Gary Lineker say today? Did you see that on Twitter just now?
No.
He said, well, that was the best performance by an English team in a European trophy. Oh, Gary, you're getting it, man. Clickbait or what that was, mate.
Yeah, he's getting good at it, isn't it? There's a lot of them there really clued into this social media now, what they're about, you know. As always, a pleasure. Great to have you on. Yeah. No doubt we'll talk to you on the Monday mashup without a doubt about it more, even as we do a preview and stuff like that. As always, head over to YouTube. Smash that subscribe and bell notification button. Dynamo Podcast Network. Go on, give us the last word.
Hopefully when I speak to you on the Monday mashup, City will have won the Premier League and we'll be going into the second leg of the Champions League semi-final with confidence and aplomb. So.
And just to clarify, it would be Liverpool doing you a favour, not Man United.
It's about bloody time.
Long overdue. Listen, we'll touch base before Monday without a shadow of a doubt. Chat you over the weekend. Pleasure as always.
See you later. Bye-bye.